Hey everyone, it's Miranda and we're the CraftyGalz. Today we're going to be making a home decor project. It's just going to be a cutesy little sign that you can hang on a door for Halloween. Now we're going to start out, we're kind of recycling in this project or reusing. And so I am starting out with this cereal box and I'm just going to cut the flat face off of that. Now this project is going to be one of those projects that doesn't have to be perfectly even and cut out perfect. So now I have this, and you can also use chipboard. You don't have to use a cereal box or whatever. And I'm just going to use a hole punch, and I'm going to punch 3 holes in this. I'm going to try to line it up evenly. Now the middle hole isn't really going to matter, but if you have like a regular kind of hole punch, that might work better. But my hole punch, I was trying to punch a hole in some really thick chipboard, and it didn't work out too well. But anyway, so I have this, just like that. Now I'm going to take this, and this is just a grocery bag, and I'm just going to tear off. Okay, so I have a pretty good sized chunk there, and I'm going to use it to cover this. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself a few inches, and I'm just going to take a pen, just kind of give myself a quick guideline. It's nothing too specific, it's just kind of a quick little line, and I'm just going to cut that out. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect because all of this will get kind of covered up and tucked in the back. Okay, and as you can tell, that's not a perfect rectangle or anything, so that's not really anything to worry about. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin to just crumple it into a ball. I'm distressing this way, undo it, and flatten it out. And you can repeat it as many times as you want. I think I'm going to just do a couple more times. Okay, so now I've got this pretty wrinkled up. I'm just going to flatten it out the best I can, but I still want these wrinkles in it. That kind of adds to the touch of this project. Okay. Now I'm going to adhere it to this chipboard or cardboard or whatever you're using. And I'm just using some Martha Stewart gel adhesive. And this has been one of my favorite adhesives for a while, since during the summer. I've been using this adhesive a lot. It really binds together any project. And I'm almost out, and they don't carry it anymore at Walmart, so I'll have to check other places and see if they carry it. Now I'm just going to set this on top. Okay, so now I'm going to get it really distressed, and I'm using this Martha Stewart pigment ink, and I'm going to use this brown, I think it's called Brownstone, and I'm just going to kind of apply it over this, and it's picking up especially where the wrinkles are. Now I'm going to add a little black, just a little bit, I'm not adding very much, and a little bit of this color. This is called Copper, and this is just going to add a little bit of sparkle, but if you're doing more of a boyish poster, you don't have to add that. So this is pretty distressed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flatten it out again, And I'm going to crease this over. So I'm just going to take some tape and just stick that on there. Okay, so I have this now, and I did punch the holes, and I probably should have kind of made them kind of punched out before. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to make kind of a push just so I can see where it is. And I'm just doing that in the two end ones. I don't want the middle. Okay, so now you can just take your scissors, or you can re-punch it. Now I have some of this, and this is just some black fibers, and you can get this in the yarn section at your craft store. And I'm just going to cut a little piece of that, and I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to go ahead and decorate it. Now, for decorations for this, I have a little pumpkin, and I cut this out using Create a Critter. And I'm just going to quickly put that together. And glue that down. And I also cut out Happy Halloween, and I did this using George. And I'm going to stamp. So this is going to be just kind of a couple cute little things on there. I'm going to go ahead and stamp. I'm going to use black. And Callie used this in the Halloween card video, but it is an adorable stamp. I'm just going to stamp that right in there. So I'm going to let that dry. And I'm going to use the Cuttlebug. If you watch my Oh My Crafts haul, you saw this product. It is a Skull and Crossbones Cuttlebug Duo, which means it's the embossing folder and the actual die. But you only have to use one, or you can use both. I'm probably going to end up using both. I'm just going to set my A, my B. I'm going to set that in there. Put this on the top. And I'm just going to slide that in, and I'm going to crank it through. And I've got my little Skull and Crossbones guy, and I decided that I'm gonna go ahead and emboss it, and you can just do that by sticking that in there, just like that, and take the same plates, which is the A and 2 B's, and then you can just crank it through and you should be good. Now this is just kind of minimal embossing, just kind of rising the whole piece up. It's not adding a texture or a design or anything. So you're just giving it a little bit of extra dimension. Now I'm going to go ahead and start decorating this, and I'm just going to grab my scissors, and I'm going to just make a cut. And I'm just going to kind of, since this is a Halloween project, I'm just going to kind of distress the edges just a little bit. I don't distress too much in any of my stuff, but I'm going to, not just because it's Halloween, add a little bit of extra. And I'm also going to distress this little guy just a little bit though. Okay. And now I also have these letters. And I'm just going to, here's my paper bag. I'm just going to peel them off. And I'm just going to tap those with a little bit of brown ink. Okay, and I didn't add too much to those just because I don't want it to be overwhelming. I'm just going to do it to the skull and crossbones. And I'm using the black on purple. Okay. And now I'm just going to apply everything down. And I did use that from Create a Critter. I don't know if I mentioned that already. And I didn't add too much ink to this. Like I said, I just don't want it to be too overwhelming with all the colors and all the distressedness. Okay, so I just have all of my letters set down. And now I'm going to pop up my little pumpkin. And my little Frankenstein guy. And then I'm just going to kind of rest that guy in there. And I'm just going to do that with some gel adhesive. Okay, so now I'm just going to, one by one, apply each letter down. Okay, so I have that completed. What we've got to do is apply this ribbon, and the way we're going to do that is just push it through the hole, and if you need to, you can thread it or whatever to get it through. And then I'm going to push this side through. Just like that. And now I'm just going to pull it up to how tall I want it. I want it about that tall. And then I'm just going to tie the edge. And I'm not even going to worry about trimming it or anything. I want that kind of falling. Okay, so it just hangs up like that. Thanks for watching. Comment and subscribe. And have a great day. And go check out my blog at CraftyGalz.blogspot.com. Have a happy Halloween. Bye.